Hey guys, and welcome back to another exciting episode of The Journal here at Centennial College. As you've seen over the past couple of weeks, we here at The Journal strive to bring you the best and most exciting student content out there. I'm Evan Crawford.
And I'm Alex Ferriman, and today we've got a great show for you in store today, where we've got everything from chiropractors to disabled snowboarders, and we also take a sneak peek into the crazy world of custom cars. But to start things off today, we'll be taking a look at DOP extraordinaire Marc Jones's piece on the wonderful people that keep our bus shelters clean. Roll the clip.
My name is Paul. For a living right now, I clean transit shelters for a company that is hired with Patterson Outdoor Advertising. I'm responsible for cleaning about 11 cities so far in the GTA and around, and I'm doing a pretty good job with it so far. The reason why I started, my parents were running kind of low on money and I was in college at the time. I always believed that I should put family before myself and put family before anything else, even if I want to go to school or not. A friend of mine, his dad actually works for the company I work at. He offered me a job. I've been working for this company since October 2010, and I've been a supervisor as of January 2011. This job alone is mainly more driving than it is cleaning. You're always on the go, you're always going from city to city. There could be one day, say you're in Barrie, you could get a call for broken glass or some other obscurity all the way down to Niagara Falls. The worst is when you go down there and nothing's broken at all. Like, it's a good thing that nothing's broken, but at the same time, it's like I just drove 2.5 hours for nothing. Someone decided to vandalize the shelter. It's majority just those times that there's a problem with the shelter. There are some incidents I've had before where there have been some drivers that have actually crashed right into the shelters. During those times, it's very difficult to even do my job, not just in terms of cleaning, but since I'm there on the spot, I have to also remove the shelter in every possible way that I can to make sure that doesn't happen again. Later on, of course, we'll replace the shelter, but in the meantime, when the damage is like that, you gotta get a job done. There are some people that are out there, like, you could be doing your job entirely, they'll still try and throw a fit at you. They may not like that you're doing the job when it's out in the winter time and you have to say, excuse me, could you just step out of the shelter or something like that. Even if you're only there for 2 minutes, they really don't want to do that. They'll throw a complaint at you. I believe that if you're polite and honest, you'll get the same in return. I'm always honest with the community. I'm very polite. I'm always straightforward and just want to say, I just want to do my job and be out of your way. Everyone should understand that my job is no different. It needs to be done.
So that's how they keep those dirty things clean. I was always wondering who would be up for that job. Well, enough about dirty TTC bus shelters. Let's change up the mood a bit and get a more upbeat piece about chiropractors from our very own Eric Terry.
Well, first you see the upper dorsimus is connected to the duodenum limb. I mean, like, it's boring, but it's part of my life.
You know, I could comment, but I'm not gonna. Just roll the clip.
Chiropractic deals with the relationship of structure and function. It's the structure of your spinal column and the functioning of your nervous system. Basically, what we strive to do as chiropractors is balance out your spinal bones, make sure that they're moving properly through a full range of motion and are well supported, and the ultimate goal being to take pressure off of the underlying nervous system, which it is designed to protect. If we can remove all the stress and tension off of your nervous system, your body can function the way it was designed to without any interference from your spinal bones. Obviously, chiropractic is a natural approach. We are governed under the Drugless Practitioners Act, meaning we are not legally allowed to prescribe pharmaceuticals. The advantage to that is that everything we do does not have any side effects. So what we're actually attempting to do is correct the actual underlying problem as opposed to masking the symptom with a pill. Whereas if we were to medicate, say, a shoulder pain with an anti-inflammatory, what that will do is it will help to, the anti-inflammatory can potentially help you to feel a little better, masking the pain and taking away inflammation. But the problem is it doesn't actually go to fix the actual structures that are causing you the problem. And what they also do is they reduce inflammation, which sounds good, but the inflammatory process is actually a very vital part of the healing process. So it's something that we do need to go through in order to heal correctly. So it's as opposed to a quick fix, we're trying to fix things long term. The typical things that chiropractors see, the main things that we treat are back pain, neck pain, and headaches. Many people do see the benefits of ongoing care or maintenance care, basically as preventative medicine. A lot of the problems that we face are cumulative problems that result over time, and if we can remove some of the cause of the problems along the way before the pain hits, then we can actually prevent the problems from coming on.
I've been seeing a chiropractor since I was 4 months old. At the beginning, it was just for like a diagnosis to check for curvature of the spine and see that everything was okay. But I've been playing football in more recent years, and you know, you tend to get injuries. So I find it helps and relieves some of the pain. I think it's much better for your body, and it just kind of restores it to its natural rhythms rather than masking the pain.
It can be costly, and unfortunately the government does not pay for it anymore. We were delisted from OHIP a while back. If you're fortunate enough to have extended health coverage through your company or through your workplace, it can be covered. Long-term drug plans can be quite costly as well. I would say that's very condition specific, but I think in the long run chiropractic would be a much more cost-effective way. Cold laser is basically a modality that we can choose to use. It's not specifically chiropractic in nature, but as a chiropractor we have many modalities that are available to us to help our patients with whatever problems they have. The reason that I choose cold laser over anything else is because it's along the same lines as the chiropractic philosophy. What laser is, as I was saying, is basically just a waveform of light, and they've been able to determine which waveforms of light will produce positive and negative effects on the human body. So basically we use a couple of different forms of light when we use laser therapy. One is called red light, which you could actually visibly see, and that will penetrate through the skin and through the superficial layer of fat, depending on the body part that we're dealing with. The next phase would be infrared, and that penetrates just a little bit deeper into the muscle and down into the bone and joint. Basically what we're trying to do is saturate the cells with the light so your body again can convert it into a usable form of energy and then use it as it pleases.
Well, Evan, I guess you could say that really made a crack out of that one. Or, no. Or maybe that edit could have been massaged into a better place.
Enough with the puns, man. I'm never gonna host with you again. But Eric, thank you for that very insightful piece. And you know, those chiropractors, they got it tough. But we still got a lot more in store for you, and don't even think of going anywhere. Because before we dive into the world of disabled snowboarders, we got a short but sweet piece about dogs from the magnificent and always inspiring Maxine Sitchenko. Let's roll that beauty.
Dogs. Humble but fearless creatures who are widely considered to be man's best friend. When dogs were first domesticated 10,000 years ago, they made a simple but powerful agreement with humans that still holds true today. You walk us, you feed us, and will unconditionally and internally love you forever. It has been documented that dogs can replicate their owner's emotions, and in turn, provide a comfort to whatever it is that's happening in that person's life. Many consider the trust and bond between dog and human to have the power to even exceed that of two people. And anyone who has ever grown up with these loving canine creatures could definitely testify to that. But from an outsider looking in, a dog's life can easily be seen as safe, simple, and even boring. But that's wholeheartedly incorrect. Dogs have fears too, and Shadow, my 9-year-old spaniel, has to face his 3 times a year. That day's today. Like most dogs, Shadow hates his grooming. But it's an essential task to prevent him from resembling a swamp monster. The whole process normally lasts about an hour and a half, and usually takes the whole family effort. With the help of a couple treats and a bone afterwards, Shadow usually survives the torturous experience, and comes out looking like a brand new, beautiful pup. Aside from his 3 haircuts a year, Shadow doesn't normally complain about living under our roof. But the joy and companionship him and his partner in crime, Mia, bring is unprecedented. So whether they are off curiously exploring the vast nature of your home, or simply resting quietly beside your feet as you watch TV, dogs always seem to have a presence in the house, almost like they are a true part of the family.
Man, what a piece. I think that inspired me to get rid of all 3 of my cats and go buy a Black Spaniel. In fact, I think I might do that after we wrap this show.
But before we wrap up the show, we still got 2 great dogs. Let's take a close look at the program that teaches people to teach disabled skiers and snowboarders to ski and snowboard. Let's take a look at my own piece, Right on Track.
My name is Paul Dowsett, and I've been a volunteer instructor with Track 3 for 25 years. Track 3 is a ski organization that teaches young people with disabilities to ski and to snowboard. But more than that, I think that's just a vehicle for working with young people like Tyler to develop their self-confidence and develop their leadership skills.
My name is Tyler Hicks. I'm a disabled snowboarder who was a student with the Track 3 program at first, and now I'm an instructor. My disability, it's called arthrogryposis, or more commonly known as hook joint. It's a real challenge for me to do certain things while snowboarding and with any other sports that I do. It's really quite a challenge to deal with every day. I don't really recall how I got involved with the program. I was on the waiting list for quite a few years, and it was a phone call. I didn't know much about the program at first until I was in it, and it changed the way I looked at a lot of things and who I was. Well, starting as a student to becoming an instructor took a lot of hard work to get me to where I am now.
Tyler joined the Track 3 ski and snowboard program about 5, maybe 6 years ago as a student. Tyler has developed both as a snowboarder and as a person over the last 5 years. I've watched him go from the usual student that joins the program being somewhat shy, a little bit insecure. I've watched him develop into a terrific young man, exuding confidence and demonstrating great leadership skills.
It was really my instructors pushing me more and more each week to get better, and it was just really hard on my emotions. Starting the program out as a student was actually the most fun I've ever had. It was a real game changer for me in how I looked at my life. It took me 2 to 3 years to begin to get snowboarding. Track 3 gave me a lot more of a physical confidence than any other program would have. There's a lot of emotional hard work and stress to have on me. It's not like any other program, really. It's more you're your own person. Everybody around you has different disabilities, and you're not going to be discriminated by your instructors or fellow students. I'm a very positive snowboarder, but it's just really hard to grasp that feeling that you have the ability, not being called disabled all the time, and it's you're grasping that feeling of being free and having that extra advantage to yourself. Really, it's quite amazing. And becoming an instructor, it's proving even more that I'm not just gonna be that disabled guy who can ride a snowboard. That I'm actually gonna help teach other kids with disabilities and be able to show them that they can do it.
That was a great piece, Alex. I never even knew there was programs like that out there. That's awesome.
Thanks, Evan. I really appreciate it. But now we got one more piece out there. We have your piece.
Oh, yeah.
And we have the documentary that consists about the behind-the-scenes car world, and now and really what goes on behind the scenes of those Pimp My Ride shows.
Well, it's not really like Pimp My Ride, but it's something like it. Let's just roll that sucker!
How did I get started? Let me see. I had a Mustang that was originally my mother's. I did so much work on it. My dad gave me the car, but I didn't have it completely painted yet. And my brother was also working on an MG, a little sports car. He had it all ready to paint, and my sister had a boyfriend who was a painter, a car painter. Anyways, this guy never showed up to paint the car, and it was our turn to go into the spray booth. It was a busy Saturday, and a lot of guys doing it themselves, and they wanted to get in there and paint the car, so my brother just wheeled it in and said, who wants to give it a try? So I went and gave it a try, and man, it ever turned out nice, and that hooked me just like that. And but I've always had a passion for doing custom cars. And even though I was working in dealerships or in collision shops, anytime a guy came in with a custom car, I would somehow be able to nose my way into the job. I'm now in a shop here in my house, well, next door to my house. I built this shop about 4 years ago, and it took me about 4 years to build it simply because I just picked away at it in my evenings while I had a larger shop. Well, while I was at that larger shop, I had 5 guys working for me. And then before that, I was by myself in a small shop in Perry Sound, right in town, and just picking away, trying to get a name for myself. What I would do is I would do cars for local people or whatever in the hopes they would take it to car shows. Now, I was reaching the point in my old shop where my wife was really getting on me about, like, you got to start making some money here. So I thought, I'll take one more shot at it here. And this guy asked, because this guy was going to car shows all the time. And this guy was one of those guys that just wanted people to recognize his cars and be well known. So I gave him a smoking deal on the body and paint job. And so I happened to bump into him at a car show after this red one was shown in London. And he says, oh, guess what? You're just the guy I need to talk to. So I decided this was going to be the last job I did where the guy was getting a really cheap job in the hopes that I would get noticed. The car did so well, it ended up on the cover of 4 different car magazines, and I was getting phone calls from all over the place. And that was really the car that was a breakthrough for me. Everything is fine with the customer when you start. He's really happy, he's all anxious to get going. Oh, I got to get this car done. I know what the end product's going to be like. And one of the things I say is, we're buddies right now, we're friends right now, you're buying me lunch right now, and then the checks are going to start coming back to me slowly, instead of coming back to me on a regular basis. It's easy to hit a couple $100,000 on these cars, easy. Why? So somebody goes out and goes, nice car. That's why you don't see a lot of these show cars out on the road, because there's a huge amount of time. The next car I did was this 33 Ford over here. And that car there, I would imagine probably the owner had about $350,000 into that car. This one here competed at the top level down in Detroit for an award called the Riddler Award. We got down to that car show there and thought we had a really good chance with the competition, because as the cars come in, there's like 1,800 cars at this show. The people that are competing for the top awards, they usually put them up near the front of the show, so they bring them in on a Tuesday. The show's not until the weekend. And we're one of those people that came in on the Tuesday, so we got the cars, started setting it up and everything, and we could see the cars as they were coming in and going, well, that one's not a competitor. No, that one's not a competitor. And so we're all set up, and we're all ready to go, and we're thinking, this is really cool, nobody's gonna come close to us. And then this trailer comes in with 2 axles. I don't know if you've heard of Chip Foose. There's a picture of him up there on that poster up there. He's the guy that designed the Dodge Prowler. He had a TV show for the longest time called Overhauling. And he shows up with his big trailer and rolls his car out, and it was like our balloon just went like this, right? One of the things that's important about competing for that award, the Riddler Award in Detroit, is the car has to be able to drive forward, backward, turn left and right, and stop. Now this award here, you get $5,000 if you win that one. Well, there's a lot of competition goes on between the shows. For instance, down in Toronto, there's 2 shows. There's one that used to be called Performance World, and there was another one called Speedorama. The way it worked out was Performance World was basically the premiere show. The idea was that they wanted you to show your car at their show first and not the other one in Toronto. These cars are about people wanting their ego stroked, and they just want people to notice them is what it really gets down to.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's show. I hope you enjoyed the beautiful work from our broadcasting and film students here at Centennial College. And we hope you join us next time for the Journal.
Join us in 2 weeks at our usual time of 4:30 to see what the students have whipped up in store for you this time. And remember, if you're looking at a woman's chest and she catches you, you're not checking her shirt. Oh, God, you're checking her shirt size. Oh no, I'm Evan Crawford.
And I'm Alex Ferriman, signing off here at Centennial Broadcast Studios.
Yeah.